Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Fox Talks. This is Tarak Sakardande. I work as a senior security consultant at Redfox Security. With me, I have Joseph. Joseph, could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Yes. Hi everyone, myself Joseph. I work as an associate security consultant at Redfox Security, mostly dealing with application security and red teaming part of things. So in today's podcast, we will be having a general discussion over what ethical hacking is, the common terminologies maybe, and a bit of we will be also covering the topic of the boot camp, the Hacking 101 boot camp that is going to be done on 4th of October. Yeah.
Very amazing. So, Joseph, we work in the cybersecurity field
Yes.
where a lot of people constantly talk about the cybersecurity field booming and there is a lot of scope.
Yeah.
But a very common terminology that people come across is ethical hacking.
Yes.
So, if you want to explain it to the general audience, what would be your opinion about
Yeah.
it?
So ethical hacking is nothing but hacking in a more legalized way. So basically, we sign NDAs. We have a lot of documentation behind that, and the reason we do that is because there are a lot of what do you say attacking opportunities for the attackers, right? Like the scope at which at the current industry functions, like the external asset of each and every company, not only about talking about the company, about the people as well. Each and everyone uses multiple devices and they have a lot of information of themselves within the public. And what we ethical hackers do is we find these particular assets that the attackers might target, and if there is any weakness or any issues or misconfiguration with their particular system, we try and help the clients, our clients, like to mitigate these issues and to be cyber safe in a secure way. So basically it is just an what do you say,
Assuming the role of an attacker?
yeah, we obviously we do assume the role of an attacker, think like an attacker, but with not with their intent. So basically, when we talk about hackers, what they their intent is to cause chaos. That can be because of their own personal pleasure or their own personal motives, or some like it can be something like state sponsored hackers as well. So it might be that someone has paid them to do that particular job. So anything whatever the case, but the intention behind that is to cause harm or get whatever they want, right? But what we are trying to do is we are trying to attack with their methodology, but the intent of safeguarding and securing our clients. So that is the main distinction. That is the intent that we with which we work for them. Yeah.
I think very pretty much you kind of explained about what is ethical hacking, and
Yeah.
I think you did give a brief about the mindset. But
Yeah.
I would still like to ask you this question: if
Yeah.
what mindset do you think successful ethical hackers carry out?
Yeah, so when we talk about the mindset of ethical hackers, it's basically we are like thinking like an attacker. Okay? We are enumerating and understanding the asset space, or what do you say, the attack vectors that a typical attacker might use. We exploit them, we send the mitigation brief the client about the mitigation, what they could employ to safeguard their technology. And the main difference is basically that I have seen a lot of young people coming into this particular space with the intent of that we are going to be hacking things left, right, and center. But our space, the offensive security or the cybersecurity space, is mostly about finding these vulnerabilities and helping the clients patch as well, right? That is the main motive behind what we are trying to do, and that is what we are trying to establish as well. So basically, the not only the techniques that we are going to be attacking them, but we should also be knowing how do we mitigate these things so that we are like we are able to explain it to our clients in a better way, and to what do you say, have a more cyberspace environment around us. So if you know to how to pass these things and understand what was the real reason behind these particular vulnerabilities or misconfigurations, you will be able to handle these scenarios and events accordingly. Yeah.
All right. Again, Joseph,
Yeah.
in the cybersecurity field, there would be a time where you and me both were
Yeah.
beginners.
Yeah.
So, likewise, can you lay out some common mistakes which generally people do while they are learning their cybersecurity journey or ethical hacking?
Yeah. So whenever we talk about the newcomers who are in the current, who are trying to get into cybersecurity, a lot of people, what they do is they buy courses from each and every possible scenario, or like the places. They figure out any Telegram group that in which there are a dump of courses, and they just keep on hopping from one course and other to other, trying to find the best possible course out there. Instead of doing that, what they could do is they could have a structured methodology. They could have a talk with whoever is in their industry within their own network. Understand what they want to get into, because cyberspace is a wide space. It does not only have attackers, like the offensive people. We have blue teamers as well. There are people who create malware. There are people who analyze malware. There are a lot of fields. There are GRC people as well who employs policy into these. So just to understand where you should go in within the cyberspace, you should have a clear mentor. First of all, you should have a discussion before what area are you trying to getting into, and then learn the skill set according to that. Yeah. And one more thing which I see most people, the mistakes that most newcomers make is basically they do not document their journey. In today's world, at least, hiring or getting into a new open position for an even an intern, it is required to he or she is required to have a lot of skill set beforehand, because we are dealing with critical assets of clients. We cannot give it to someone who does not understand the actual workspace and what critical infrastructure we are dealing with, right? Because it might be the case we might hand over these infrastructure to these the intern, and they might cause due to their carelessness or due to their unknowingly, basically, these things, they might cause interruption within their business processes, right? And this can lead to a lot of issues within their business processes. So just to make sure that the people who are dealing with critical infrastructures do understand these particular things, so that is the reason we need experienced people into this. And the way to build experience in this particular domain is to get hands-on projects and to learn like with an hands-on approach. You could do that you do using like building your own labs. We have a lot of resources online available for free. Try hack me, hack the box. There are a lot of resources. You could just do a Google search and find that particular resources according to the skill set that you are trying to learn. Yeah. So yeah, just try to do things practical, get hands on, and don't overthink it. Once you understand which skill set you are going for, just create a roadmap or create small challenges that you have to do on regular intervals, so that you are staying consistent. And yeah, have a mentor as well, so that you have a clear understanding of where you are going into. Yeah, so that are some of the issues.
Okay.
And how can you solve them. Yeah.
All right. So, Joseph, one more thing, like you said, there are a
Yeah.
lot of resources, a lot of things. Even when
Yeah.
you actually talk about ethical hacking, there are a
Yeah.
lot of fields, right?
Yeah.
And when there's someone who is new, who is just coming into the world of ethical hacking,
Yeah.
they might want to stay consistent and
Yeah.
be motivated all the time in their journey. So, since you are in, I mean, for a fair share, you have had your fair share of cybersecurity
Yes.
projects for years now.
Yes.
So, how would you actually help them to stay motivated in their journey?
So, I think initially the learning curve is like really huge, because even when we talk about an intern or the people who are just getting into cybersecurity, we require them to know a lot of things. We require them to learn, understand networking. We understand. They should be understanding how web applications work, how every technology function for the specific domain. For example, if they are getting into AppSec, they should know a lot of things related to development. They should understand what are the technologies that are being used. They should be understanding how backend and the front end interacts with each other. So these are the things that they should know beforehand, before getting into this particular AppSec space. And so like the learning curve is just too huge, right? And I know it is really difficult to stay consistent, because initially they do not see any what do you say progress, or you could say they did not get the results. Because even when I was trying to get into cybersecurity, it took me almost 6 months to at least build my basics, get the understanding of what and where I want to go, and then build on top of that. So it is really difficult to build a solid foundation, with a limited amount of time and all. So what I would suggest is, if you do want to build a career, so you will have to invest a lot of time and effort into it. You will have to learn about most of the common technologies first beforehand, understand how things work around that, and then try and create small goals. As I said, that is what I usually do. I have a big goal, which I want to achieve in a year or 6 months, and I have short goals before that. So basically, for me to achieve this 6 months of goal, whatever that might be, clearing a certification or learning a particular new technology, what I am trying to do is, I am trying to create about 6 to 7 small goals that I want to achieve on a monthly basis, or on regular basis basically, and so that I am staying consistent. So once I am able to clear that particular goal, I am able to stay consistent and get some sort of progress in return for that. Yeah.
A very amazing answer. I mean, it was very insightful as well.
Yeah.
So, if we move on to the next question, I just wanted to ask you that since you are going to launch the Hacking 101 bootcamp on 4th of October, right?
Yeah.
What students are you expecting to enroll in this course? Also, there might be a generic question by the people that do they need a technical background in order to join this bootcamp?
Yeah. So when we talk about the technicality or the background from which they are coming from, I don't think there is any specific requirement as such. But if you are having a background in working with computers, understanding them, and if you really love to how these things, or how these devices work, it will be a really great course for you guys. So basically, what we are trying to do is, we are going to be covering the fundamentals of networking. We will be also be discussing about web fundamentals, how we find or figure out the methodology behind web pen testing as well. We'll be talking about the tools as well, like Nessus, Nmap, Metasploit, the burp suite, everything. We will have a practical hands-on course in with which we are trying to learn the cybersecurity space. Like, we'll have labs as well, in which you will be actively trying to exploit and figure some the things out, like just like the attackers do. We'll try and create an attacker mindset within them. So this is a beginner level course. Anyone could enroll in that. We'll be starting from the very basic, starting from what ethical hacking is, common terminologies, networking fundamentals, web fundamentals. We'll be also talking about the OS, how we are going to be, so what are the common fundamentals of operating system, Windows and Linux. We'll be also discussing about cryptography and other cybersecurity related aspects as well.
Wow.
Yeah, and that too in a practical hands-on way. Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, they got a lot to learn. Even
Yeah.
though it's a very, I mean, we are saying that it's a basics course,
Yeah.
but we are going to cover a lot of it.
Yeah, I think cybersecurity as a whole cannot be considered as basic. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because we have to learn a lot
Yeah.
of things just to be at a point where you could build on top of that, right?
Mhm.
Because you will have to cover a lot of things. It's not like
Makes sense.
a specific field, like you are a developer for a particular technology stack. I'm not saying every developer is specific to that stack, but there might be specializations for that, right?
Yeah.
They are trying to go in deep into that. So initially, when you're trying to get into cybersecurity, you have to learn a lot of other concepts as well, like networking, cryptography, and other things. You'll also have to learn about operating system, how applications work, how every devices interact with each other, what is an IP address, IPv6, or everything. So there are a lot of things to learn, new concepts to learn, and we are going to be summarizing them into this particular course. So yeah, we are going to be having a really blast with this particular course. We will have really good hands-on session in which I think you will understand most of the fundamentals. We'll be covering web networking, how do we attack a network in a practical hands-on way. I think it will be much better way once you actually enroll in the course and you actually figure it out yourself. Yeah.
Amazing. Also, I really appreciate the fact that the strong point that you made, that nothing is really basic in the field of cybersecurity. Also, being an instructor, I really loved the way you actually put it out. Is I do get it that you want to actually make sure that your students have a wider scope of what all things are really
Yes.
working in
True.
cybersecurity, and then they can actually choose the field that they want to
True.
traverse to.
Yes.
Nice. Also, I mean, you already mentioned about the real world skills that the participants are going to learn from this
Yeah.
course. And the last question goes like, how does this bootcamp help students practice safely and legally?
Yeah. So when you talk about the newcomers of cybersecurity, basically, so they do not know where should they apply the skills that they learn, right? Because they do not have the understanding to create a lab of their own when they are starting out. So what we are trying to do is, along with the course, we are providing them with a lab environment which they can access and try and exploit that, figure things out. There are other labs available as well, like Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, but this is along with the course. So you will understand the theory part, and then you could employ that in the lab environment. So that is how it differentiate between the course and the other lab environment. But yeah, it will give them a space to try out their skills that they learned during the course. And yeah, for additional knowledge, if they do want a particular resource, I could just point it to them, like if they want to grow in that particular sector a bit more, like, or learn about that, they could have a discussion on our Discord channel or our WhatsApp group, which we always have for a particular boot camp. Yeah. So if they are in that particular group, they could just ask a query of what they want, or if a particular resource that they require, if there is a particular doubt that we have to solve, we could cover it over there. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, Joseph. And likewise, again, book the date, 4th of October.
Yes. 4th of
And
October.
yes, Hacking 101. So, in case, before we close the podcast, you want any closing remarks
Yeah,
from your side?
we'll be also having what do you say, a podcast related to questions regarding the Hacking 101 bootcamp. We will be having in some time. So basically, stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Most of your questions will be solved over there regarding the course. What are the course contents? What are the materials? What you guys will be getting out of it? Yeah. So most of the questions regarding that particular bootcamp will be covered in the next podcast that we are going to be doing on Hacking 101. Yeah.
Amazing. So, without any further ado, I would like to close the podcast. It was amazing having Joseph on board. Also, in case if you don't know about Redfox Security, at Redfox Security provide end-to-end client penetration tests ranging in fields like Active Directory, web applications, hardware, mobile applications, and a lot more. If you want to check out any of the service-related things, go on our website, that is https://redfoxsec.com. Again, we have an educational platform which is called academy.redfoxsec.com, where we deliver courses, boot camps, blogs, and a lot of learning material. So do check it out as well. And on YouTube, as you can see, we are already having a podcast right now. And in case you want some regional content, you can follow us on Redfox Security Bharat. That being said, we'll see you in the next one.